We begin with an NBC 15 News reality check. Investigators say former Pritchard Water manager Nia Bradley spent utility money on building supplies for her own personal use.
Bradley is accused of stealing more than $200,000 from Pritchard Water. Investigators seized scores of high-end retail items out of her home Friday. NBC 15's Andrea ABBY joins us now.
Andrea, you may have found some of the building supplies in question.
Well, Greg and Kim, a law enforcement source familiar with this case confirms that building supplies found at a home that Bradley and a business partner own are now part of this investigation. While much attention has been focused on the luxury items former Pritchard Water manager Nia Bradley is accused of buying on Pritchard Water's dime, last week Mobile County District Attorney Ashley Rich said there were other kinds of eyebrow-raising purchases.
A lot of building materials and building supplies that have been purchased on behalf of the Pritchard Water Board but not used at Pritchard Water Board facilities.
Property records show Bradley owns 6 parcels in Mobile County. One of them is 952 Cottrell Street, which is in the midst of a major makeover. New roof, siding, windows, drywall, electrical, and plumbing. Upgrades investigators believe the utility may have paid for, according to a source with knowledge of the case. According to the tax deed, Bradley and her business partner, Randy Burden, also a former Pritchard Water employee, purchased the property for $123 in a 2016 tax sale. Last year, a judge ordered the duo had a right to redeem and possess the property. Mobile City records showed 2 building permits were pulled and 2 inspections were completed at the Cottrell site in 2021. We went to Burden's 8-mile home today to ask where the funds for the remodel came from. No one came to the door. Last year, Bradley and Burden formed B&B Enterprise, which records show paid the taxes for 3 other properties. This abandoned home on Reeve Street in Mobile, this wooded lot in Graham Bay, and this lot on Watley Avenue in Pritchard. In addition to the Charmingdale home Bradley and her husband own that investigators raided Friday, the couple also owns this wooded 22-acre lot in Wilmer, purchased for $95,000 in February of 2020. During a time period investigators say Bradley spent hundreds of thousands of utility money illegally. Coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, a CPA's connection between the current corruption scandal and a previous one in Pritchard. In Mobile Tiny, Andrea ABBY, NBC 15 News.
We begin tonight with an NBC 15 News reality check. The Mobile County Public School System is investigating how an elementary school student wandered off campus during school hours and wasn't found until he was more than a mile away.
It happened yesterday at Haskew Elementary in Irvington. A spokesperson for the district says the little boy was found and returned to campus safely in about 15 minutes. NBC 15's Andrea ABBY is uncovering details about this incident.
Wow, Andrea, an incoming school board member says he is very concerned about what happened.
That's right, Greg and Kim, concerned about how this situation was handled, concerned about what could have happened. This campus is very close to I-10, and from what we are told, the child, who's described as an 8-year-old little boy, left this campus, headed that direction, and crossed busy Old Pascagoula Road all by himself. Tonight, the Mobile County Public School System says it is investigating how a child walked out of Pearl Haskew Elementary School Wednesday and got a mile away. This image, taken by a passerby, shows the boy walking along McDonald Road. That gas station in the background is 9/10 of a mile from the school. We're told he was found further up the road on Lake Tahoe Drive. How is he able to get so far away from the school?
Andrea, that's one of my questions. I have a lot of questions.
The school will be in Johnny Hatcher's district when he takes office in January. The Republican nominee is not facing a Democratic challenger in November. Hatcher says parents called him yesterday upset about what happened.
Anything could happen to this child.
The Mobile County Sheriff's Office says the school did not call and request assistance to search for the boy. When asked why law enforcement wasn't called immediately, a spokesperson replied, quote, "because we found him in about 15 minutes. Hatcher believes they should have been called right away.
I mean, this kid was in imminent danger.
I would be terrified.
Christopher Long says his daughter is a 3rd grader at the school and came home talking about what happened.
I had ran away from the school yesterday during PE. Ran off into the woods.
What are you thinking as a parent?
I was thinking I should have been notified.
The school system says the boy's parents were quickly notified about what happened.
I'm certain that they're going to do a full investigation and they're going to find out exactly what happened and they're going to fix the problem. I'm confident in that. The one thing I don't want to do is not be transparent. I want to be honest about the situation.
Now, I asked the district, did a teacher or staff member see this little boy leave campus, or how long did it take before someone noticed that he was gone? The district says that's part of their investigation. Reporting live tonight in Irvington, Andrea ABBY, NBC 15 News.
A landlocked property owner in Baldwin County claims developers are trying to keep her from accessing her Styx River waterfront lot.
She says they've even cleared trees without her permission to pave way for ATV paths. NBC 15's Andrea ABBY joins us now live.
Andrea, the disabled widow, says she does not have deep pockets to fight back.
That's right. The 62-year-old says she's on a fixed income and is facing some health challenges. She says since the late 80s, she's been able to drive down this dirt road with no issues to access her property. But she said that all changed recently.
From the minerals.
For decades, Darlene Clark has cherished the time spent on her Styx River sandy beach on her remote 5-acre wooded lot located off County Road 87 north of I-10. Lately, she feels like she's losing control of the land she holds so dear to her heart.
It's degrading, and they're trying to take something from me that my husband and I loved.
The disabled widow says she was shocked Friday when she came to her land. Visible paths have been cleared, silt fences are up, and grass has been planted. She says a man on an ATV approached her and told her she was trespassing.
I've talked to Stacy Riles, and he told me to tell you that you're trespassing, and that if you come out here again, we'll call the deputy sheriffs.
Today we were there when Clark was the one who called deputies to access her land. Bell Fountain Land Company has posted a no trespassing sign along the dirt road she's driven on since 1987 to access her lot. We heard the responding deputy tell her she could come and go as she pleased.
But to pay for this property, I was the one that worked the overtime. I'm the one that sends in the money every year to pay the taxes on it. And we never had an issue.
If the issue sounds familiar, a firing range down the road is fighting in court for access to the same dirt road. Bell Fountain Land Company owns the road and surrounding land. The registered owner is Stacy Riles. According to the Grand River Motorsports website and Facebook page, developers are building a new off-road park there with amenities like swimming, tubing, and RV camping. A sign that says beach points to Clark's land. For a scenic ATV trail to run along Styx River, Clark says you'd have to go through her property that's on either side of the river. Land she loves with an uncertain future.
Helpless. I feel helpless. You know, what am I going to do?
Today I reached out to Riles, an attorney for Bell Fountain Land Company, and a representative for the Motorsports Park, but I did not hear back for comment. Reporting live tonight in Baldwin County, Andrea ABBY, NBC 15 News. For the first time, we are hearing from the widow of a Baldwin County man who died in a horrific fiery crash back in September. Hamilton Platt crashed into a FedEx truck that blew a tire and was stopped in the middle of I-10 near the Wallace Tunnel. The lawsuit alleges the truck was riding on faulty tires. Kelsey Platt believes the crash could have easily been prevented and says their 2 small children have been traumatized.
I just had this horrible feeling that something was wrong.
Kelsey Platt began to fear the worst when her husband Hamilton didn't come home from work on September 21st and wasn't answering his phone or responding to texts. A tracking app showed him on I-10. Soon she saw social media posts about a terrible fiery crash and started reading the comments.
One of them was like, yeah, someone's definitely dead in that car. You know, the smell was horrible driving by. You know, so it was hard, you know, just to see that and know, you know, but I still held out hope that like he wasn't in there.
She prayed first responders were able to pull him out of the burning SUV.
I just started texting him, I love you, you know, just if he, on the off chance, may see it.
Her hopes were fleeting. According to a wrongful death lawsuit she's filed, Hamilton survived the initial impact of the crash and was, quote, aware of his impending death and that he was burning alive. Kelsey says she's not only haunted by the way he died, but also their 8- and 5-year-old children are struggling to cope with the loss.
My son isn't doing that great. He doesn't understand, heaven and that daddy is in heaven. There for a little while, was like angry with the idea of Jesus and God, that they were keeping him up there.
Kelsey and her attorney Ed Rowan say they want someone to be held accountable. It's not the first time FedEx has been accused of using faulty tires that resulted in a fatal crash. A lawsuit filed in federal court over a triple fatal collision in Wyoming was settled in 2016.
This young man, had the rest of his life in front of him.
FedEx told us in a brief statement, we continue to extend our deepest sympathies to the family and friends of Mr. Platt. We've been fully cooperating with investigating authorities. We will defend the lawsuit.